Good afternoon, everybody. So, got our expert panelists here to join us today on the final day. So, welcome, guys. Nice to see you all again.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon. Yeah. So, it's been a really busy weekend. We've had so many great sessions, all available now on demand in the portal website. So, feel free to go and check those out. Had some great talks again with the guys here today, all through the day, which has been brilliant. So, guys, I'm going to get you thinking and want some inspiration from you. I want to get to know you a little bit better as well. So, I'm going to be the genie in the lamp. I'm going to give you all one wish, and you've got to think about your dream home scenario. So, I'm going to grant you one wish each to put anything in this dream home. What would be your one thing? We'll start with Paul of options.
My one thing, if I could have, would be pretty much a full-length indoor swimming pool. Would be absolutely perfect for my house for future.
Very nice. I would concur with that. Right, who should we go for next? Kay?
Oh, I think I mentioned this on my talk on Friday morning. A freestanding bath. If Steve doesn't fit that into my ensuite in the next couple of there's divorce on. There's absolutely every possibility we can get it in there. And yes, I've got my lovely home. You did a great job. Thanks, Steve. But I want a roll top bath.
You haven't finished yet.
No.
Fair enough. Okay. Right, Paul Mills.
Yeah, I suppose to go with the other Paul's swimming pool, you'd probably want, sort of 3 meter high, top of the range sliding doors, Solar Lux Zero sliding doors to go with that. Just finish off the wow factor of a property like that. You probably are looking at contemporary stuff for that. So that or a fully glazed curtain wall would be the other. They look absolutely amazing when you do them right as well. Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Tony.
Yeah, well, so a bit of a blend really, going from what Paul said, the swimming pool. But I see something on, I think it's Pinterest or somewhere, there was a basement and the swimming pool was on the ground floor, basement below, and there's a glass ceiling. So you could see the swimming pool from above, and it was really sort of nice, sort of cozy, snug underneath. Yeah, that'd be something I'd like.
Very nice. Yeah, wouldn't say none of those. Great. Mine would be a wine cellar.
Yes.
Next to the swimming pool. Yeah, there's no room below it. I've put all of your ideas together. Good. Okay, so in all of your experience and all the projects that you've worked on as well, I'm curious to know anything that stands out like visually that you've worked on in the past, really. So what's the nicest project you can kind of think back to? What stood out for you? Yeah, what were you particularly proud of, and looking at things like that, more inspiration for people. Demon, who wants to start? Anyone?
Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, I've done a listed extension. It was a small project, smallish project, but it was very detailed. A lot of shaped bricks, specialist brick matching, and then we had things like sheet wall insulation, line renders, and decorative, real detailed decorative Victorian fascias and soffits. And it was just one of those jobs where once you've done it and you stood back, it was really did stand out. It wasn't nothing major, massive, but it was quite a lot of work into a small project.
Pride, like yeah. Good. Okay. Pool of options.
One of mine would be a bathroom that we did in London last year, which is where the customer wanted colour. So grey toilet, but then one of the big things come down to the coloured brassware. But the lady wanted body jets in the shower, but she wanted such a high spec of every shower outlet that because we had to get the coloured brassware to match, it made the searching and fine detail to get all the colouring, the colour trims, everything down to such fine detail. That one will just stick with me for a very, very long time.
Special, yeah. Good. Paul Mills?
Yeah, one that springs to mind is one where it was a house that, in fact, we showed pictures of it in our discussion this morning, Chris. But where they had it was an old farmhouse, 100 years old sort of thing. The windows were sort of probably 1980s installation, bit of a mess. Hadn't really thought about the design and so on and so forth. It made the house very, very dark. And we used a mixture of 3D visualizations to help the customer understand what the possibilities were from a design point of view, but also then looking at colors to help literally just brighten the house both externally and internally as well. And it just made a massive difference to the house, both visually, aesthetically, and internally for the amount of light that they managed to get in. And that was a really good, satisfying project where we literally made a big difference to the way they use the house, literally just by changing the windows and the design of the windows.
Yeah, superb, good. And Kay?
Well, obviously, Paul, Steve, I haven't done any designs yet, but obviously I've got involved in a lot of bathrooms, and my photographer and I, Mark, we go out, not since obviously COVID, but we've been out to a few properties, Paul's jobs, Steve's jobs, Jotty's jobs, to take photographs and get to know the customers. And I can honestly say that there's one favourite of mine. It was your job, Paul, Stephen and Paul. Do you remember them?
Yes.
They were really nice people, lovely couple. Mark and I went to take photographs. I think you did 3 or 4 bathrooms. They were just so bowled over by the designs, by the team, by Paul. And it was just the compliments they showered. It's lovely. Because I haven't designed them, but when I go to people's homes, take photographs, they're just so bowled over by our designs, the team. And for me to hear that as a director, it's lovely. It's lovely. So I've got lots of favourites. I can't honestly say this is my favourite.
Happy customers, your favourite thing. Good. All right. And then I've got another question here in regards to, do you have any practical tips to make the most of kind of property project budgets? So are there any kind of money saving areas to look at, perhaps where you can squeeze the most out of your projects? Anything that springs to mind that you feel like you're constantly advising people about to get more in perhaps other areas that mean more to them?
I mean, from a fenestration point of view, and this is a general rule as well, and I'm sure the others would probably concur with this too, but is that actually, yes, there are places where I'll help you save money, but also there are areas where I'll tell you where you should be spending money as well, where actually by cutting corners, you're doing yourself a disservice. Typically around, funnily enough, the wow features, typically, the bifold doors, so on and so forth. If you put a cheap, a bifold door in there, you can end up regretting that, for instance. Same with your front door as well, definitely you should always actually be looking to spend a little bit more on your front door, perhaps, than you might have originally been anticipating. Some of these beautiful contemporary doors that we could do, timber doors as well. But then there are other areas where I can help you save money, definitely, by, choice of material, choice of product, choice of style as well. So yeah, I think it's a balancing act overall.
At the moment, people, so far from my experience, I think at the moment, because of the situation, I've got this on Friday, people aren't actually saying to us, can we save money? They want to spend more because they're spending so much time in their homes. And I keep saying they want that luxury, and I think they do. That's not to say that people won't say, actually, can we cut corners that's slightly more expensive? Can we reduce the amount of light we have, as an example? But currently, as it stands at the moment, people want to spend a little bit more money because they want to make their homes look fabulous now, because they're spending so much time in their homes. So, but yeah, I agree with you that if we can make cutbacks and they say actually it's too expensive, then we will do. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I guess there was examples with like Tony Mullen on the kitchen side, where there's a kind of he'll get maybe requests for like granite worktops, for example, and he'll say, well, actually, it's kind of more expensive than like the composite alternatives potentially. It maybe doesn't last as well, there's more upkeep and things like that. So actually, it's kind of more cost efficient and actually a better outcome. And it's just, it's that experience, isn't it? Talking to like you guys, having that depth of knowledge and getting the expertise. Yeah. Tony, do you ever kind of find similar sort of advice for people?
Yeah, I think from a builder's point of view or a project management point of view, early subcontractor engagement would save you a bit of planning, would save you money, and you can get advice, and also ultimately save you time. So you can save money on a project, but I think time is a good saver as well. So early planning and engagement with subcontractors, like Paul was saying about the windows, get in touch as soon as possible, so you can iron out any issues before they arise and save money that way.
Yeah. Paul Diamond, options?
I think some of them is customers just sort of, if needed, like when you start at the house, just double checking over any specs. You know, sometimes where you've had a customer saying at the last minute, you've nearly finished the job going, I wish I'd sort of spec'd underfloor heating earlier, you know, for a couple of £100, you know, if they were come to sell the house, it's a nice sort of feature that was on there.
Right.
It's questions, if they just asked them, double checked on the first day, it could be additionally added. But when it's asked after a certain time, sometimes it's too late, and you know, you sort of like missed out on certain bits and pieces.
Yeah, good. So I think one of the things that everyone seems to underestimate is that Tony touched on it briefly about project management element of whatever you're getting done. But have you got anyone got any tips about anyone going into sort of big projects and just how, like, mindset wise to approach it? Because I know quite a few people that just massively underestimate like the impact. So not like the build and everything maybe is one area, and whatever's disruption in the home, but actually in how you're managing kind of life around that, and just being prepared. Any sort of good top tips to get ahead and be on top of things?
Well, yeah, never really sort of accept the first price. You can always drive prices down with suppliers, materials wise as well. You can do a bit of buy-in, a bit of ringing about. That can sort of save you a bit of money.
Okay, yeah, good tip. From a kind of almost like a mentality point of view, what would be any advice to anyone that you know going into a big project, a bit naively, perhaps?
Being honest, I know from experience when we had our extension in our house, it was, for me personally, it was quite traumatic. You know, I'm quite serious around the home. Steve did prepare, actually. I kept saying, when can I mop the floor? When can I do this? I can't do that. You've got to wait till we're finished. And I think you need to be honest, particularly from a woman's perspective. Sorry, guys, but it's about preparing the customer. Tom did a chart, I think.
Yeah, the emotional roller coaster. Yeah.
Really interesting. And a friend of mine's going through the same process at the moment, and they've actually moved out. Well, we lived in it, and Steve managed the whole build himself, obviously, but it was quite an experience. Yeah. And I think, and I've said to my friend, you know, be prepared for X, Y, and Z, but when you're living in it, when you are having an extension or whatever building work, even a new bathroom, be honest. I mean, our guys are, Paul will explain that, you know, we tell them about the rip out, how it's going to affect, you're going to be without service for X, Y, and Z. Just honesty about the preparation, about how this is going to affect your day-to-day routine, I guess.
Yeah. Good.
I would say from a customer's point of view as well, just about, especially in this day and age, there can be a paralysis of choice. We see that an awful lot where customers frankly just can't make their minds up, and the earlier that you can make decisions about the individual packages, so you know, if you are doing a major project, especially, you know, about your bathroom package, about your window package, about your kitchen package, because otherwise what we see, you know, yes, we have very, very long lead times with some of our customers. It is not unusual, you know, that we're talking, you know, I've got customers now that I've been talking to for over a year, and that's fine. But one customer especially springs to mind, and they just, I mean, oh my goodness me, I must have done literally 15 different iterations of ideas as measurements change and things like that. And we're now getting to a point where actually their build is progressing. They've still not made a final decision, and they're going to end up getting delayed because we've now got a 12-week lead time, 12 to 14-week lead time, and it's a major project, £1 million project, and they're going to end up waiting for the windows.
Right.
You know, so make your decisions as soon as you can, and then you can box that off and crack on with everything else, sort of thing. You know.
Yeah. Good. Any other advice, anyone? Or was that good? Cool. All right, well, that's answered all my questions very well. Thank you, guys. That's been brilliant. Yeah, just I'll wrap it up and kind of say thanks a lot for all your time and everything that you've invested over the weekend. It's been superb. We've got lots more to come, sharing all the videos and snippets and things. So, yeah, I'll say thanks. Enjoy what's left of the weekend, and we'll catch up with you soon.
And you, Chris. Thank you for everything.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, thanks for hosting, Chris.
Yeah, all right. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Bye.